Hey everybody! Welcome to this video on the rest parameter in ES6. In a previous video, I talked all about the spread operator in ES6, and the spread operator is very closely related to the rest parameter. As you can see here, they're both represented in the same way with these three dots. However, the big difference is in the way that they're used, the context in which they're used. So in that video on the spread operator, I talked about how the spread operator is used in function calls, in arrays, and in objects. And what that one does is basically takes a group of elements, like the elements in an array, and spreads them out, or expands them into individual elements. Now the rest parameter is essentially the opposite of the spread operator. What rest does is it condenses or gathers or collects up individual elements into an array or an object. So with that out of the way, let's get into some examples and talk further about the rest parameter. Now I know when learning about the rest parameter and the spread operator, it can be a little bit confusing because they have the same syntax to remember which one does what and where they can be used. But I can point this out. A lot of times a rest parameter is referred to as the rest operator, and so people speak of the spread and the rest operators. But if we take a look at the MDM web docs, they refer to rest as rest parameters. And if you can remember the term rest parameter, that gives you a clue as to where it's used. In other words, it's used as a parameter in a function definition. So let's give an example of that. So let's create a very simple function definition. We'll create a function called addNums. And let's see, how would we call this function? We would do something like addNums, and then let's say we would pass in a series of numbers. So let's pass in some odd numbers here. 1, 3, 5, and 7. And the idea of this function would be to simply add up the arguments that were given. So one way we could do this would be to formally define parameters that we wanted for each of the arguments that we intended to pass in. So in this case, we have 4 numbers that we're going to pass in as arguments. So we could do something like num1, num2, num3, and num4. And then we could return num1 plus num2 plus num3 plus num4. So let's invoke this function and we'll log it out to the console to see what we get. And here we see that we get the number 16, which is the sum of these 4 numbers. But of course, defining all these parameters like this, it's getting kind of crazy. So instead of this, what we could do is we could use the rest parameter here. We could simply do 3 dots, and then we could say nums. And now before we actually add up the numbers, let's just return nums to see what we get. So far we see that we've gotten an array. We've gotten an array of these arguments that were passed in. So remember what I said about the rest parameter and how it gathers up individual elements? Well, that's what's going on here. We're passing in these individual elements, 1, 3, 5, and 7. We're using the rest parameter and we're giving it a name. We're calling it nums and returning nums, which results in this. These elements here being packaged up into an array. Now, if we wanted to get the sum of these numbers, what we could do is we could do something like using the reduce method. And if you don't know reduce, don't worry about it right now. It doesn't really matter totally for the purpose of this video. But the point is that using the rest parameter here is gathering up all these elements into an array, which we can then work with. And by using the reduce method, we can calculate the sum of all these numbers passed in. So we could say return accumulator plus current value, and we'd initialize it with the number 0. Now let's log that to the console and see what results. So now we see that we get the sum of all these numbers, the number 16. So far what we've seen kind of shows us the mechanics of how the rest parameter works. But let's go a little bit further now and talk about some of the details of the rest parameter. One of the big reasons why the rest parameter is so useful is that it takes an indefinite number of parameters. So in this example that we looked at, we passed in these 4 numbers. But of course we can go and we can pass in more numbers. We can pass in 8 and 9 as well. And we could have as many numbers as we want in here. Because no matter how many numbers we're passing in, we have this rest parameter here which is serving to gather them all up into an array. So let's try something here. Let's delete these numbers for a second. Let's get rid of the body of the function that we created before. And let's say that now instead of just having this rest parameter here, we're going to formally define some parameters. Let's say that we had x and y, and then we had this nums rest parameter. So in this case, let's say that we passed in a 1 and a 2. Well, these arguments would be assigned to these parameters. So x would be 1, y would be 2. And then let's say we added 3, 4, and 5. Well, 3, 4, and 5 here would be taking care of this rest parameter, which we called nums. So instead of console.logging here, let's console.log inside of the function. And let's log out x, y, and nums. And what do you think we're going to see in the console? Well, let's take a look. And here we see we get 1, 2, and then we get an array with 3, 4, and 5. So what you can see is that we were able to formally define a couple parameters, x and y, which were 1 and 2, which we see here. And then the 3, 4, and 5 that we passed in got taken care of by the rest parameter and wrapped up into an array. So we might have a real-world situation in which we knew that we were going to definitely have two parameters, an x and a y, but then we might have some indefinite number of arguments that we could pass in. So I could come in here and I could say 6, 7, 8, and let's log this out. And you can see that everything beyond the x and the y got wrapped up into an array, right? So x was 1, y was 2, and then an array, which was taken care of by the rest parameter here. One thing that's very important to note is that the rest parameter needs to be the last parameter. So we couldn't do this where we put nums as the first parameter. Let's log that out and see what happens. And we see that we get a syntax error, which pretty directly tells us that rest parameter must be the last formal parameter. So let's get rid of this addNums function, and let's look at one more example of using the rest parameter in a function. We're going to define a function called multiply. This function is going to have two parameters. It's going to have a multiplier, and then it's going to have a second parameter, and this second parameter is going to be a rest parameter. So we'll put our 3 dots, and then we'll call it nums. And then let's see how we would call this function. So we would call multiply. We would give it a multiplier. Let's say that multiplier for now will be 2. And then we'll give it a set of numbers. So for now, let's give it 3 numbers. We'll say 1, 3, and 5. And what we want to do with this function is we want to return an array of numbers with each of those numbers multiplied by the given multiplier. So as you can see, the first parameter here, the multiplier, we're passing in a 2. And then we're using a rest parameter here, which we're calling nums. And this is going to take the 1, 3, and 5, package them up into an array. And we're going to map through that array. And each time we map through, we're going to multiply one of these numbers by the multiplier. So we're going to use the map method to do this. We're going to say nums.map. Then we're going to say for each number, we're going to return the multiplier times that number. So because we're using the rest parameter here, these numbers, the 1, 3, and 5, are getting wrapped up into an array. And because they're now an array, we can call the map method on that array. And the map method, in this case, is going to return a new array with each of the elements of that array multiplied by the multiplier. And of course, we're going to have to return that new array out of this function. So let's wrap this call to multiply in a console.log and log it out to the console. And here you can see that we get an array consisting of the numbers 2, 6, and 10. So 1 times 2, 2, 3 times 2, 6, 5 times 2, 10. Now, a cool thing about using a rest parameter like this is that we can pass in more numbers if we want. We can pass in a 5, 6, 7, for example, log it out to the console again, and now we have this nice little multiply function in which we can clearly see that we have a multiplier, and then we have a set of numbers that we want to run that multiplier against. And it's very easy for me to just change the multiplier. We can do it by 3. Now we get this array with all the numbers multiplied by 3. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was able to shed some light on the rest parameter and also show how it's different from the spread operator, even though the two have the same syntax. We talked about how the main difference comes from the context in which they're used, the rest parameter being a parameter in a function definition. And remember that the rest parameter always has to be last in the parameter list, after any formally defined parameter names. So if you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel, and I'll be bringing you much more. See you next time.